in this video you're going to know what it is like to study in Singapore and how you can apply. So if you want to contact the person who's featuring in this video, the Facebook groups are down below. You can check them out. This is a 5-part series, so don't forget to check out the other 4 parts. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is the continuation of the 5-part series which I'm doing with Siddhant, who's studying at NTU Singapore. And if you haven't watched the previous 2 videos, you should watch it. It'll be useful. And in this video, we are going to talk about cost of living in Singapore versus cost of living in US. Also part-time jobs, because that adds up to the money you're going to earn and spend in your cost of living. Cool. Handing over to Siddhant, and he can talk about how it is expensive or not expensive to live in Singapore.
So Singapore, you should know, it's one of the most expensive city in the world. The cost of living is pretty much high. It's as equivalent as your tuition fee. Because when I was calculating, my roundabout was 10 lakh for tuition fee, INR, and 10 lakh INR for my living and my food. So talking about monthly expenses, my room rent is $560 per month.
How much is one Singapore dollar equals to how much rupees?
It's almost about 50.
Okay. 560, right?
Yeah. And that is because like I took single, you have provision of sharing also. And you have certain other dorms also, but mine is the best because so that's why it's 560. There's another hall also that I know of for the graduate student. It's for 460, but the rooms one's in so good condition, so I did not take it. And if you, in my hall, graduate hall 2, if you choose to take a sharing room, that would cost you around $460. And that is just the cost of your room. So there is external AC cost. So you have to, just like your mobile recharge, you have to do the recharge and it will deduct the money accordingly. So that comes at about $100 per month.
That was very strange for me to listen as well. We had a call as soon as he went to Singapore, and we were talking about that, how he has to recharge his AC card, and I'm not sure, you have to put it in the AC and then it runs until your money is over, something like that.
Yeah, there's a card reader, but that is actually done so you don't waste electricity.
Yeah.
So
Makes
they are
sense.
very power efficient. So.
True. And how's your food situation? Like, what do you eat? Do you cook? Do you eat outside? Do you cook? What it is like? How much it is per dish? Something like that.
Yeah, so some people do cook. We have a common kitchen that is one per every floor, and you can cook, no doubt. You can cook anything you want. There's no restriction whatsoever. But I don't cook because I don't find time to cook, and I am quite comfortable eating outside. So my daily meal, so in total, like combined together, my eating, my partying, and my going out and everything costs like $1,000 per month.
Okay.
Yeah, $1,000 per month. So food meal is like $6 per meal, and so if you take, so roundabout, it's like $20 per day for your food.
Okay, I'm going to talk about what is the expense in US, at least for Lafayette, which is a small town, and then we can talk about part-time jobs as well. So in Lafayette, I'm paying $380 for this apartment, which is a 2 BHK apartment with a big kitchen. It is a very small town, and you can't compare. If you're going to a big city, you'll easily spend like $1,200 to $1,300, even $1,400 for a single sharing room. That's one benefit of living in small towns. Whereas for the grocery and eating out, I don't eat out that much. I hardly eat out, I would say. I cook usually because my kitchen is very private. It's just me and my roommate who's cooking there. So everything adding up, my 1 month expense comes around $700 to $800. I've already made a video. I'm going to link that in the description. My monthly expense, my first month expense actually. And you can watch that, and that will give you a better idea on how much I've spent in a small town in US. I'm planning to make a video with a person who's living in areas like Boston, NYC or SF, and how much they are going to spend. Okay, moving on to part-time jobs. How is the scenario of part-time jobs in Singapore city?
So part-time jobs are pretty much available from technical jobs to other jobs as well. So the capping amount is like 16 hours per week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like you can still do more as long as no one catches you, but that's illegal. So I wouldn't advise you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I, on the other hand, I'm also doing a part-time job for 16 hours a week, and it's in a startup that I'm doing. It's related to electronics. For people who are interested in electronics, there are a lot of startups that basically concentrates on the coding side, on the hardware side, or on the chip development side. So there are a lot of opportunities for those people. So, and big companies on the other hand, they wouldn't prefer part-time student because it's just 16 hours a week, and they
Okay,
cannot get a lot of work done from you.
I
Startup
understand.
need
Yeah.
because they need a manpower that is comparatively cheaper than the. So for I have to work for 16 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I am getting around $500 for that,
For a
and have to
week
work
or for a month?
for a month.
Okay,
So
that I
16
think
hours a week.
if you calculate that 500 divided by 64 hours a month, that comes down to $8, 8 Singapore dollars,
Yeah.
and you get in hand $500, right?
Yeah, in hand, yeah, and
Yeah.
plus the other perks like if you work at a startup, you get your breakfast over there, you get the basic groceries over there,
Oh,
so
interesting.
you can save a lot of.
Yeah, that is interesting. So talking about the part-time jobs here, I've worked in like in a cafe for a month or so when I wanted to get my SSN. So I was getting 8.25 US dollars per hour. I used to work for 8 hours a week. So if I'm working 8 hours a week and that adds up to 32 hours a month, and by 8.50, that's 272 US dollars, which is 17,000 rupees almost. And if you compare that to 500 Singapore dollars, that is 23,000 rupees, which is not bad because Singapore ka nahi, which is Singapore mein you're spending anyways that much only.
Yeah, so your food gets covered more
Yeah,
or
but
less,
at
but
least
it's more of an experience.
yeah, but I would say even if you're getting less money, the job you are doing, which will be very useful for you in the future, and the job
Of
I'm
course.
doing is a very full stop job. Like that's just for earning money and nothing else. There's no potential thing which I'm getting out of it. So I would say
Yeah,
that is a
even
great thing. But there's one more thing, one catch in the US, that you can't work outside legally. So all the
okay.
employment which we are having is the university one. So everything within the university, that's the only work we can get. All the cafes, if there's an office we can work in, it should be inside the university premises. Whereas in your case, you can work anywhere and get part time.
Yeah, and
Till
as a matter of fact, if you do jobs in cafes, or if you teach students, like few of my friends that are teaching the lower grade students, as in the seventh or eighth, they're getting a very high pay. Like compared to me, they're getting like $800 for the same amount of work.
But do
So
you
it
think that
depends
work
what
is
kind of
better
work
or
you.
that this work is better?
For me, like I love what I do, and also it's giving me exposure and how the working life is in Singapore, and
That
also like I
matters.
can write down something in my CV that while I was working, I was also studying. I mean, while I was studying, I was also working, so
Hmm.
that adds something to
Yeah,
my
that is
CV.
interesting. Yeah, true. Like if I can get that kind of work, I'll be very, very, very happy. Okay, this is it for this video in which we talked about cost of living and part-time jobs in Singapore and US. This is a continuation of the 5-part series, so heading on to the next video.